it kind of rolled out true to form. Deontay Foreman had a great game yesterday in limited carries. They gave the ball to Derrick Henry 20 times for 3 yards a clip, and they lost the game. What were your thoughts on that game, watching it transpire? Because that was a really interesting game to watch.
Definitely an interesting game because it didn't play out where how I thought it would play out, especially with Cincinnati winning this game. They got sacked. I mean, they gave up 9 sacks. Joe Burrow, I believe he didn't throw a touchdown, or did he
He
throw
did
one?
not throw a touchdown. He had an interception. He was sacked 9 times. Ties an NFL record for a playoff game. Yep.
Which it sounds like Tennessee should have won this game walking away. But as far as the game, I do agree with what you're saying. They did force Henry back into the lineup 100% when they probably shouldn't have. Foreman looked great out there every time he touched the ball, and I believe he only had 4 touches.
Yeah, he only had six carries, I think it was. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Which is ridiculous. And I don't know what his average may have been, but it was definitely way better than handing the ball off to the big man. My thing as far as that game, I thought that Cincinnati was a better team, only for the fact that the Tennessee Titans haven't had their team together, and getting Derrick Henry back so late in the season wouldn't be a good situation, especially starting him and giving him the ball 20 times. But as far as I'm definitely impressed by Burrow. As a young man, I didn't believe that he was going to be a quarterback as good as he is right now, and it seems like he's legit. And they're a fair opponent. As far as the teams, how they match up, I did potentially want to go to Tennessee as well, just for the fact that the weather will be probably better than it is in Buffalo because it's pretty cold out here, and our offense will look a lot better. But Cincinnati coming to Buffalo, it sounds beautiful to me.
Yeah, sounds beautiful.
As long as we get over Kansas City, I'll appreciate them coming.
Absolutely. I'll second that opinion for sure. The second matchup of last night was an interesting one as well. Both number 1 seeds go down. The 49ers go into Lambeau, frigid, cold weather, just like we experienced last week in the wild card round against the Patriots. It was cold out there last night in Lambeau, and it was an interesting game as well. I mean, that game was so close to the vest. It was low scoring as well. For the gamblers out there, the unders hit on both games yesterday. Special teams showed up big. Jimmy Garoppolo, always good for that Jimmy Garoppolo, Jimmy G pick at the wrong time. He was late on a pass to George Kittle in the back of the end zone that was really just a horrible play. It was not the time to make that throw with the fact that they had a chance to get 3 points on the board at the very least, and he throws a pick in it. I thought at that point that San Francisco was going to lose the game. Lo and behold, they get a block punt as well, and the game was right there for them after they tied the game up with the scoop and score. What were your thoughts on that game last night, Pip? That was an interesting game for sure. It was a defensive affair, but Aaron Rodgers, number 1 seed. He talked all that shit earlier this year in the offseason and kind of had us on this little whole drama run following him like he was some type of soap opera. He falls out of the playoffs again, 0-4 against the Niners. That's an interesting stat, the fact that this team can't get over the Niners, regardless of where they're playing.
Definitely an interesting stat. Do you know that obviously he has a little thing with San Francisco? They passed him up. I think he's from San Francisco.
Yeah. Back to the night of the draft with Alex Smith, the number 1 pick.
The night of the draft, they asked him a question about San Francisco passing him up, and he said they will regret it, which seems like it's actually the opposite. As far as San Francisco though, that was a shocking game, especially at the end of that game. I was very shocked. I actually thought the game was over, just as you just explained, and that black punt was crazy. It's very interesting that San Francisco has made it here, especially with the situation they went through at the quarterback. All season, everybody. It seems like they want Jimmy G out of there. He continues to get deep in the playoffs and win the majority of his games that he plays, which makes no sense if you want to get that quarterback out of there. But to his own. Kudos to the 49ers for doing what they did. They continue to play, didn't give up, which was very interesting.
They're very on brand, aren't they, Pimp? They're very on brand. They know who they are, and that's one thing that you can at least respect about the Niners is that Kyle Shanahan knows who he is. He knows what the strength of his teams, and then what that wrinkle was with Deebo Samuel this year really made a difference for them in the backfield. I mean, they've got a wide receiver, so much speed, and he's a dynamic that not a lot of teams have. Not a lot of teams have a wide receiver that they could just put in the backfield that can run between tackles and off tackle. They're on brand. I can at least respect that about them for sure.
They're tough and gritty team.
Exactly. They really are.
Deebo epitomizes it.
He really does. He really does. He was knocked up a little bit yesterday, banged up in the game, and then he came back and finished the game for them. So that was kudos again, like you said, to the Niners. They get it done on the road in Lambeau again, crushing the Packers' dreams. The number 1 seed goes down in the NFC. All right, now looking forward to today's games. We spoke about the Bills game, obviously, before as we wrap up. Before we do predictions for today's game, Jermaine, Rams at Bucks, and I'll be honest with you, the Rams are an interesting team. Like Tennessee is always interesting to talk about because they're kind of an enigma. The Rams are interesting as well in their own right because of the fact that they are going for it. And the owner, Stan Kroenke's out there in L.A., and he's going for it. I mean, they bring in Von Miller. They went and signed Jalen Ramsey. They traded for Matt Stafford. They've done a lot of reshaping their roster to make sure that they had stars. I mean, this is a very star-driven team. Talk to me about the matchup with the Rams and the Bucks. Obviously, it's Tom Brady. Obviously, he makes everybody nervous, but I'm a little bit worried about the Bucks. If I was a Bucks fan, I'd be a lot worried about it today because of the fact that I'm not sure if they have enough weapons, Jermaine, to kind of hang tight with the Rams. How do you feel about today's matchup?
Exactly what you just said. You took the words out of my mouth. They don't have the fact that they don't have Chris Godwin and AB. That is, I believe, is going to be too much to overcome to beat this Rams team. Just like you also just segued into this as far as all the pickups and moves that they have made. And I think this is going to be their shining moment of the moves that they made when Stafford wins against Tom Brady. I do think that the Rams is going to win this game. That's just my personal opinion because I think they have a little bit too much for the Buccaneers. Now, I would have a different opinion because I don't like to go up against Tom Brady. I'll be honest with you.
I wonder why.
If Tom Brady had the weapons that he needed, But with just Gronk out there, just Mike Evans, I think that the Rams might be able to cause Tom Brady some problems today. That's what I look forward to.
I agree. I'm a little bit worried for the Bucks if they can't find a way to stifle that defense. You got Aaron Donald and you've got the rest of those guys coming after Brady. Tristan Wirfs is questionable for today's game. He's obviously a key cog for them on the offensive line, an all-pro for the Bucks on that line. It's going to be interesting. We all know Brady hates pressure, and we know that he hates pressure up the middle as well, and that's exactly what Aaron Donald specializes in. So we'll see how that matchup works. All right, so Jermaine says he likes the Rams today. If you want to put a score on it, you can. I'm really interested in your score on the Bills-Chiefs. Give me a score. I'm going to hold you to it. I'm going to put you on Twitter and Instagram. I'm going to put you everywhere, and that way we can bring up read receipts if you're wrong. What do you have today for the game, Jermaine?
All right, cool. All right, I think personally, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. That's just my personal thought. I'm taking the Bills. I'll go Bills 37 to Chiefs 34.
Wow. 37-34, everybody. You heard it here first. Jermaine James, Sweet Home's finest, on the line here with the Nickel City crew. He is officially a member of the crew. We really appreciate you coming on today, Jermaine, to give us some of your thoughts. We've got another guest coming up here in a moment as well. But I wanted to thank you for stopping by, joining the crew. Again, remember to like us on Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, follow us, rate us, review us, let us know how we're doing as well. But this is such a great weekend to be a football fan, such a great weekend to be an NFL fan, and obviously a fan of the Buffalo Bills. And I can't wait for tonight. I honestly can't even wait for the first game as well, because it just will mean that we're that much closer to Bills Chiefs. So signing off for now. I do appreciate you coming on, Jermaine, with us, and thank you for your viewpoints, man. I appreciate chopping it up with you.
Hey. Hold on 1 second before you let me go and we sign off. You thought I was going to let you get away with not getting the score?
Oh, man, I am holding out on the predictions. What I will say here is that I am confident in the Bills winning this game. I'm not as confident as I was last week with the Patriots, because I just knew that we were a better team than the Patriots. This is a more even fight. It makes me nervous, but the fact that we went in there week 5, I know it was a long time ago, but it does give me a little bit more comfort. Hell. 31-27 Bills. How about that?
Okay.
Thanks, Jermaine, for joining us. We appreciate it. Yes, absolutely. Today's NFL Divisional Round playoff preview episode is presented by and sponsored by Ling Ling's Takeout. Now, ladies, go holler at my girl Lena. If you've got braids that need to be taken out, if you've got kids' braids that need to be taken out, sew-ins, wigs, micro braids, locks, anything that you need with respect to taking something out of your hair or your kid's hair or someone that you know, holla at Ling Ling's, please. You can catch her at Ling Ling's _takeout on Instagram, and also at Ling Ling's Takeout, on Facebook. 716-203-1579. 716-203-1579. That's Ling Ling's Takeout. Now, the word on the street is that she takes care of like the Buffalo Bills wags, wives and girlfriends. I know Devin Singletary's lovely wife or girlfriend, she's a member and a customer with Ling Ling's Takeout. So please, if you've got any issues with braids, ladies, your daughter needs something done, or your niece or something like that, your grandmother, your mother, anybody that needs braids taken out, sew-ins, wigs, micro braids, locks, anything that happens, my girl Lena's got your back. That's Ling Ling's Takeout. Again, catch her, Ling Ling's _takeout on Instagram, Ling Ling's Takeout on Facebook, 716-203-1579. Holla at my girl Lena today. Welcome back to the crew, Nickel City Crew. We're here. We thank Jermaine James again, Sweet Home's Finest, for joining us in the first segment. I really appreciate him stopping by. We've got another guest that's coming up right now, and I'm really excited about this guest because a quick backstory. I already know, you guys know I'm a season ticket holder, been one for a long time. I met this guy years ago on Allen Street. I was going to an establishment, and I was literally walking across the street. I was walking across Delaware, and this guy was walking across the street as well, and we started talking, and then we were going to the same bar, and then a few drinks later, we're best friends, and I literally feel like that because this is my guy, man. Adam Rupczyk, the pride of Panama Central High School, the Panthers, former tight end, is joining us on the hotline now. Adam, thank you for coming to the crew. Thank you for being a part of the crew. You are officially a member of the crew. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself, man. Welcome in.
Yeah, love it. Thanks, Rob. Yeah, it's happy to be here. Thanks for bringing me in. Happy to be a part of the crew. This is a big deal for sure. I think this is going to be a start of many good conversations and a podcast that's can be open to the mafia to kind of zero in and get some insight on the regular Joes out there like us out there each and every day and tracking this Bills team to the championship. So, happy, real happy to be here. Thanks for bringing me on with that. As Rob said, a couple of years back at season tickets when I went to school out in Syracuse, New York, me and the boys would come every weekend to, stay in Buffalo for the games. One night on Allen, met Rob and kind of became friends. But really by coincidence, that part of the story is the next day at the game, we didn't even plan. We just parked in the same lot.
And he was right there. Yeah, he was right there. Yep, we go to the grass lots, and he was right there. Yep.
And as soon as we saw each other, we knew it. Then every week after that, we became good friends and had a lot of good stuff going on with the tailgate. And we've seen some pretty good football the past couple of years. Obviously, we've seen some bad football in the past, but I I think it's time for the turn, and excited to be a part of this and